In the storm, Rico the African gray finds a cockatiel in the mud, and a new bond begins. Trapped, helpless, at the mercy of a predator. Is this the end of his story? Or only the beginning of something far more dangerous? In the heart of the jungle, every day is a fight for survival, but now his fate hangs by a single thread. Will rescue come before it is too late? Will the cockatiels rescue the African gray from the orb weaver's web? The African gray is free, all thanks to the brave cockatiels, and to you. But from the rocky cliffs, the hawk watches in silence, its sharp eyes fixed on the cockatiels. Suddenly, two hawks swoop down with terrifying speed. In an instant, they snatch away the cockatiel parents, disappearing into the sky with their prey. Rico had to choose: protect the chicks or save the parents. Will it survive? Subscribe and keep watching our series. Difficult choice. From the rocky cliffs, the hawk watches in silence, its sharp eyes fixed on the cockatiels. Suddenly, two hawks swoop down with terrifying speed. In an instant, they snatch away the cockatiel parents, disappearing into the sky with their prey. Rico had to choose: protect the chicks or save the parents. Rico stood before a choice: stay with the helpless chicks who needed him most, or chase after the hawks to rescue his parents. In his heart, fear and hope were fighting each other. Yet he decided to fly. He spread his wings and darted into the forest, leaving the chicks behind, believing his return would bring salvation to the whole family. Rico hurled himself against the hawks, striking with desperate courage. Against all odds, the tiny cockatiel fought the predators until, at last, their grip was broken. His parents burst free, their wings trembling but alive. But when they reached the nest, their hearts froze. The branches were torn, the feathers scattered. The nest was empty. The chicks were attacked by a vulture, and in terror, they fell from the nest. But the blue cat was waiting, ready to strike. Then the silverback gorilla appeared, stepped in, and rescued them. But the female gorilla was not pleased. She grew jealous, feeling the attention was taken away from her and their own baby. The helpless chick fell from the great height, and when it struck the ground, its fragile life was lost. The gorillas began to weep, reaching out and holding hands. One by one, every creature drew closer, united in grief. And in the end, it was the sacrifice of the little one that brought them all together. Out of the blue, the leopard appeared, and in an instant it snatched the last chick. And when it struck the ground, its fragile life was lost. Out of the blue, the leopard appeared, and in an instant it snatched the last chick. An African gray searches endlessly with the cockatiel parents of the lost chicks. When the leopard saw the African gray, fear struck his heart. He dropped the chick in shock. For a moment, the leopard froze, seeing the bright red tail blazing like fire, then fled into the depths of the forest. Glory to Rico, the brave African gray. But danger was near. Army ants had sensed a helpless victim. Yet hope was not lost. Another chick, the one everyone thought was gone, was still alive. His name was Boxer, the little fighter. But danger was near. Army ants had sensed a helpless victim. Yet hope was not lost. Another chick, the one everyone thought was gone, was still alive. His name was Boxer, the little fighter. With trembling wings, he tried once more. And this time, he flew. Through the heart of the rainforest, Boxer soared, feeling the wind beneath his wings for the very first time. But deep in the forest, a man driven by greed set his traps, thinking only of himself. In a single careless moment, Rico was caught. The wire tightened, and he hung upside down, trapped. A mighty silverback gorilla approached, moved by the sight of the suffering bird. With gentle strength, he reached out and freed Rico from the trap. Then, with care and kindness, he lifted the tired African gray onto his shoulder and carried him through the rainforest. In that moment, two worlds walked as one. This time the gorilla mother was not jealous. She had learned that true strength comes with respect, and that kindness can cross every boundary. The baby gorilla, a quiet jealousy growing in its heart, while walking away, fell into a mud hole. It tried to climb out, clinging to roots and soil, but the earth kept slipping away. Rico was always alert. When he heard the desperate cry of the young gorilla, he rushed to help without a moment's doubt. With hope in his heart, he dropped the branches, believing they would become a bridge for the little one to climb out of the muddy trap. At last, it reached the branch, breathing fast but free. The little gorilla ran into his mother's arms. From the forest came gentle sounds, a cheer for Rico, the brave one. But our unforgettable Boxer, the cockatiel who felt stronger in mind than in wings, kept flying and flying, losing her way until she reached the open sea, and her strength began to fade. Will it survive? Subscribe and keep watching our series.